Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage where I'm working on my 1989 325i that has a lot more rust than I thought when I bought this thing. So today we're going to be concentrating on a rust spot that's probably the most difficult one to fix on this car, and that is down by the driver's side front jack pad area. This area is kind of one of the more difficult areas to fix because it's about 4 different panels that come together in one spot. And of course, each one of those panels is rotted out in some way. Let's just take a look at it, see what I'm talking about. So you can see right here, this is like a firewall area that comes into the front door pillar. You can see it's rotted out right here on this panel. And then your jack pad surface is under here. You see this square right here, it's made of a little thicker steel, and this is the jack pad. You can see it's rotted out from right there. And then if we look on the inside of the car, it gets even worse. You see in this corner right here, of the driver's side footwell, this interior rocker area is all rotted out. This is the external rocker right there. It's still pretty strong looking. This is the area of the jack pad and the floor panel that mounts to the bottom of the jack pad. Yeah, it's just gaping holes in here. It's a really difficult and space constricting area to even get into. So again, this is gonna be a tough area to fix. I'm not looking for a factory perfect style repair, but just something that makes it structurally sound and sealed up from the elements once again. So let's get to it. Okay, so replacing the rusted metal in the jack pad area didn't actually take as much time as I thought it would. So with that, let's go move on to the rusted holes in the driver's side floorboard, starting first with cutting all that rusted metal out. Looking like Swiss cheese in here. You can see that we've got a pretty big hole right here. We've got some smaller holes right around here and right there. Then kind of up near the firewall, we've got a hole right here. And then right here where the gas pedal would be, we've got a big Flintstone size hole. The gas pedal on these BMWs is actually floor hinged, and this was just sitting here, and it was held in here basically by the undercoating on the car. And you can see that well, that didn't have much life left in it at all. So I'm gonna have to draw out new patch panels, get them tacked into the floorboard. I think I have enough metal to tie the new tacks into here. I mean, it's thin metal. It always was thin metal, and it's only thinner now that it had all the surface rust on it, but I should be able to tack new metal to that. And then I'll have to put new mounts in for this gas pedal. I'll have to line up where the gas pedal should be, throw in some new mounts, and then hopefully we'll have a nice floor-mounted gas pedal once again. A lot of work ahead. Let's get started. Finally, I got all of that front corner taken care of. I've got all the holes filled in on the floorboard. I've kind of got that seam along the driver's side wheel well into the firewall sealed up. And I've got the jack point all welded up and sealed up, and everything's looking pretty sturdy. Let's take a look. All right, starting out here in the floorboard area, we can see that there's a bunch of gray goop going on everywhere. But that's because it's now sealed up. Now, I'm not gonna lie, none of this looks very pretty, but I was looking to just, one, reseal this area, and two, introduce some structural integrity back into the metal here. And I think I've accomplished both of those things. So as I started grinding down the metal that was here, I just kept finding more and more pinholes in this. And really the best course of action would be to just replace the whole floor pan. But while that is an option, it would have cost a lot of money. And I'm just kind of looking to breathe a few more years of life back into this car. So I think what I've done here is more than adequate for that. I'm definitely not proud of some of the stuff I've had to do up near the firewall. I tried to weld in as much metal as I could with the space that I had. The only way I could have done better is to completely remove the dashboard. But I don't have the time for that, and I don't think it was completely necessary in the first place. It's all sealed up and watertight now, so we should be fine. I had to weld in a new throttle pedal bracket here for the hinge point mounted to the floor. That's now very sturdy. I mean, this stuff is not going anywhere. Tried to retain most of the drain plug holes. We got 3, there was technically 4, one that went right here, but I decided to just leave that closed off. Pretty happy with the POR 15 that I put down. This is kind of a rust converter and sealer for metal that's slightly oxidized. Well, this was more than slightly oxidized, but it should be sealed up pretty well. It's now pretty sturdy feeling. And yeah, let's go check out the wheel well. All right, so getting in the wheel well area, you can see that there's some pretty nasty looking stuff going on here. Again, I'm not looking for a concourse level restoration. I'm just looking at something to seal up this outside and introduce some structural integrity back into here. So what I've done is I've made a repair patch, spot welded it into the fender well liner and into the wheel well, and it's just kind of tied these two pieces together. That way there'll be minimal flex here. It's definitely better than what I started with, which was just a completely perforated seam throughout here that had absolutely no integrity left into it. And then moving on down here into this corner here where the firewall kind of meets the floor pan and the rocker panel. There's this big gaping hole here. It's all filled back in with metal and sealed up and got some rubberizer on there. So that should be pretty strong for the foreseeable future. And then finally at the bottom is the jacking point, which had a hole in it. You can see how that's now sealed up there. Definitely no more holes. Got strong metal in there. All the holes in the floor have been resealed with seam sealer, and then had a aerosol rubberizing coat applied. Not a cosmetically pretty fix, but certainly a strong one all the same. So again, this is my first attempt at auto body welding, and so I was never really searching for something cosmetically perfect, but just something structurally sound, and I think I accomplished at least that much. Now, the only thing left to do for this corner of the car is to just put it all back together. Now, before I can put it back together, I gotta fix one of the reasons there was rust in the floorboard in the first place, and that is clogged sunroof drains. Or at least I'm expecting to find clogged sunroof drains. So let's go check this out. Okay, so up here I've got the sunroof open, and we can see in the corners on the front, there's one on either side, that there is a little hole. And what I'm gonna do is put the air hose nozzle down in there and see if I can blow out any sort of buildup that might be in there. I'm hoping that there is, because that would explain why there was rust in the floorboard. So let's go look at the other end where I will expect to see the debris come out of. It's this nozzle looking thing. It's really strange. It comes out the firewall here in the engine bay, and apparently we just take this off and we can see, well, holy shit, that is clogged. Well, that's good news, I suppose, because if that's clogged, then where else is the water gonna go except for inside of the car? So you can see right here, and this is actually not clogged, at least as far as my finger can go in there, it's not clogged. But if the drain funnel is clogged, it's kind of stupid. Why would you even have a funnel on there? Of course it's gonna get clogged. We're gonna go ahead and put the air hose in the top and see what comes out of there. Okay, so there we have it. I think most of the dirt was just clogging this hose thing up. Now, this thing is old, brittle, and hard, but I don't have a new one on hand right now, so I'll probably order one, but for now I'll put this one back on there and see if it'll stay. It's just good to know that the sunroof drains are not clogged anymore. Temporary, but it's on there. Cool. Okay, with sunroof drains now out of the way, it's time to put this thing back together once again. Whew, what a lot of work with the fender back on and the headlight grille back installed and the front bumper bolted back in. I can now say that front corner is now rust free. So that marks the end of this video. Now next time we're gonna try and look at the rust in the driver's side rear quarter panel. Lucky for that area though, I won't have to remove any of the interior, so all of that will be outside of the car. Hopefully that goes a little bit faster. And now that I have some experience with welding sheet metal, it'll go a little bit smoother. So as always, thanks guys for watching, and thank you for the support. Thank you for all the positive comments. I really appreciate that. Eventually we'll see this car through, get all the cosmetic and mechanical issues fixed up. But again, it's gonna be a long road. So with that, we'll see you guys again soon.